Hello, in this video, I would like to talk about the market for loanable funds. So when we talk about market, then we should referring to the demand side and supply side, okay? So in the market for loanable funds, we only have one good, okay? So this good is loanable funds. And what's the price of the loanable funds? So we also have the price of the loanable funds, which is measured by the real interest rate. And then we also need to talk about the demand and supply of the loanable funds. So for the supply of the loanable funds, it comes from saving. Okay, comes from saving. And then the saving is actually our national saving. National savings including two components, right? Private saving from households or the public saving from governments. So this is the supply side of loanable funds. And we also have the demand side of loanable funds. So the demand side from the loanable funds is from the demanders, the borrowers. It could be the firms and corporations if they need the money to maybe to enlarge their plant, to invest in the research and development, or for the government if the government needs new investment in infrastructures. They might borrow money in this loanable funds market. Okay, now let's draw a demand and supply graph of this loanable funds. So very similar to any goods in the market, okay? I will put quantity here represents for the quantity of the loanable funds on horizontal axis. And then I would like to put R here. This R here represents for the price of the loanable funds, which is the real interest rate, okay? Demand side of the loanable funds will still downward sloping, okay? So that will be our demand curve of loanable funds. And then this will be the supply curve of loanable funds from national saving. And they will intersect at one point, right? And this is the point that represents for the equilibrium of the loanable funds. For this point, we can get the equilibrium real interest rate of loanable funds, and we can also get the equilibrium quantity of loanable funds. So this is our equilibrium points. So anything change in supply or demand, probably they might shift this loanable funds market, right? So for example, if now for private saving for households, if households decided to save more money, households save more money, and which means that will increase the private saving. And once the private saving increase, it will shift this supply curve to the which direction? To the right hand side, right? And then it might result in a new equilibrium points, right? Or it could be from demand side. So for example, now firms and corporations would like to borrow more money from banks to do the investment in their factories or in their business. Therefore, it will increase the demand of loanable funds, which will shift the demand curve also to the right hand side. Okay, so based on the things that we have already learned in chapter 4, demand shifter, supply shifter, it might also apply to this loanable funds market. And then you need to analyze what's the new equilibrium points and what's the differences between the two real interest rate in equilibrium, or like the new equilibrium quantity of loanable funds. And at the end of this video, I would like to talk about the relationship between inflation rate, the real interest rate, and nominal interest rate. Okay, so here we said this represents for the real interest rate, right? So we have the real interest rate. It will equal to the nominal interest rate subtract inflation rate. In the later chapter, this actually is a formula, and we will call this one as Fisher equation. But in this chapter, I just hope you can remember that the real interest rate will equal to nominal interest rate subtract inflation rate.